Bird.
Bored.
Bird. Bird.
Bored.
Bird.
Bored.
Bird.
Bored.
Bird. Bird.
Bored.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not like a day.
I can't imagine Faraj not being part of our family.
He was the apple of her eye. He was.
That means she really liked him. He was the apple of her eye.
Oh, that's nice words. Like, I got it, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking that I want to do something to help in the refugee crisis. I don't have a lot of time. I had a spare room, and it was kind of like a no-brainer.
So the first day was amazing. So when I arrived in Cambridge,
I was nervous, so I went to the train station one Saturday afternoon, had no idea what this person was going to look like.
everything is new family, new life, new city. So I have to make new friends. I have to start my life again.
I said, you know, Faraj, we're a Jewish family, don't know how you feel about that. And he was like, his face just lit up and he said, that's fantastic. I've never really met any Jews.
And he's like a very practicing Muslim, and it just like a lot of people would say that that shouldn't work.
You have to think, I am human, so I have to try to understand, try to see different people, different way.
So then we're walking a bit more, and he turns to me and he says, Shoshana, I'm gay. And I said, well, that's fantastic. What?
Usually when I say I'm gay, no, I can't say, actually I say I'm gay because it's really hard to say that. But she said, not a problem, Faraj. You can say you are gay, how you are. If you are nice, you are nice. This is you, this is your life, like this. It doesn't matter, yeah.
It's just been kind of life-changing having him here. All my friends absolutely love him. In fact, probably a lot of them like him more than me, maybe.
Shoshana, she took a picture for us, and she sent it to a group of family, and she said, this is a new brother to come to the family. Yeah, that's really nice.
Syrian brother. Yeah.
New Syrian brother here.
It's really hot.
I know. And spicy.
Spicy is really good. I definitely feel like the protective older sister when he goes out and doesn't come back till 1 or 2 a.m. I feel like, where have you been? Be safe, who are you with? And we joke around and tease each other quite a lot. I don't know, I really love him.
Faraj, you grew up in Aleppo, and I want to ask you if you could tell everyone a little bit about your childhood there.
So life in Aleppo was quite simple, and people enjoy the life, walking around, eating late, going 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. eating outside, was safe, people all together. Women really traditional, to cook together, sharing all the time, yes, hanging out, drinking coffee in the morning. my neighbor, I remember, she used to come at 7 or 8 a.m. My mom was still sleeping, and she's like, get up, it's coffee time, let's talk about themselves, yeah.
Amazing. How did you spend some of that childhood? I remember you telling me a bit about your relationship with your mum.
Well, my relationship with my mom was really good because I used to love help her in her housework, and Faraj said, Faraj, find different career for you. Don't help me in the housework, ironing or washing stuff. And I said, Mama, I love to help you. And she said, no, Faraj, find different thing. And okay, I will cook. As I went to the kitchen, and my mom, I want to cook with you. And she said, Faraj, please, go out, find different thing. And I said, no, Mama, I really like cooking. And she said, Faraj, no, find different thing. So when she goes out, I go to the kitchen and start to cook, practicing cooking, and food was disgusting. Nobody liked it. But then, by the time, my mom, she said, Faraj, you can cook with me now.
Amazing. I think you're going to have 800 guests in your house. But then, obviously, you had to leave Syria due to
Yeah.
the war. Where did you go from there?
Well, unfortunately, when war started in 2012, we just got up in the morning, middle of the bombing, and we just have to leave. So we went to Egypt, and I lived in Egypt for a year, but it was quite difficult for me to be there. And I decided to leave. So I escaped from my family. No, I didn't tell anyone. I went to Turkey. I was 17 years old. I went there. I couldn't speak Turkish. No money, homeless, no place to do anything there. But I thought maybe I have a better future there by myself. I can build myself there. But it was really hard. It wasn't easy as I thought. And then I tried to work in a factory. I wasn't homeless, no place to stay. People treated me really badly. Because I'm foreign, I couldn't talk to people. I didn't know what I have to do. And I was young. So I worked in a factory in school. I was to cleaning, cooking, do anything to just get money. And then I decided to study. So I went to try to study as a Turkish language. And then I paid for my course, and they refused me just because I'm Syrian. I said, why? You are Syrian, go out. And actually, I shocked. I paid for it. It's a private school. And then didn't give me my money back. And then I felt really like I don't want to be here in this country anymore. And I couldn't back to Egypt, and I couldn't back to Syria, where I can go. So I heard people, refugees go to Europe, they find a better place. I thought maybe a good idea, let's go. I worked in the factory, I raised some money, I've got some money, and then I paid for somebody, take us secret by the boat. So I paid a lot of money to go to Greece, but it's dangerous. And he said, we're going to be 40 people, and we were 54. And I said, no, I cannot go, it's so dangerous. And he put a gun on my head, and he said, if you want to go, just will kill you, it's so easy. I said, no, I will go, I will go. But I have to go.
Yeah.
So thanks God, we made it safely. But it was so hard and difficult because motors stopped many times in the sea, it's dark, people can swim, children, women. And then when I arrived to Greece, I have to continue my journey. So I'm not allowed to use transport because I'm a refugee, so I have to walk.
And I don't think a lot of people know this, that
No,
you weren't able to use any kind of transport. You had to
I'm not
walk
allowed to.
the whole way.
No, because refugees are not allowed. They said you can walk, but no transport. And some countries, I'm not allowed to work in as well. I have to be walking in the jungle or in the forest, places where people cannot see me. So I crossed Greece to Macedonia and Serbia and to Hungary. So in Hungary, the police caught me and they took me to the prison for 10 days with no reason, just because I'm a refugee. They took my medicine, they took my clothes off, they treated me really badly, and they said, I'm going back to send you back to Serbia. If you try to come back again, you're going to the prison for 3 years. So I didn't give up. I thought, I'll try again. I tried second time, third time, and third time, the police cut me again. So I was in the forest, and he put the gun on my head. I said, Faraj, if you're going to prison for 3 years with no reason, this is unacceptable. So I'm not going to go to prison. I'll kill myself, or I'll do anything, run away. So he put the gun on my head. I pulled his leg. He fell on the ground. I took his gun. I said, please, I want to go. And he said, go. Yeah, and I threw the gun on the ground, and I ran away to Budapest. And I continued my journey through Austria, Germany, to France and Dunkirk. So I stayed in Dunkirk for 28 days under the rain, cold, no shower, no money, no food, nothing, no support. It was mafia, people took drugs, people looked at us really badly, because it looks horrible, no shower for 3 months, starving, scared, no language. And I want to go to England, so how I can go to England? So people try to go by train, by lorries. So there is a fridge lorry. I went inside the fridge lorry, and it's freezing cold. Inside, it was melon inside, I remember. And then I was inside, and somebody locked the door from outside, because people were inside. And I have no idea where we were going. But it could be England, could be not. It could be Ireland, Denmark, I have no idea.
So you get into this refrigerated lorry.
Yes, but I have to try.
You don't know where you're going, and someone's locked the door.
Yeah, true. So I have to try. And then inside cold and not enough oxygen. So after a couple of hours, I couldn't breathe, and people inside as well. So we tried to make noise. The driver can't open the door because he didn't know we are inside. And he opened the door, and he saw us, and he shocked, and he locked the door again, and I couldn't breathe. So then I lost my consciousness. I thought I'm going to die. But at that time, I was really proud of myself because I didn't give up. I mean, it's so sad, but I I didn't like say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fight for my dream, for my future, for a better place. And then just suddenly I get up in England. Police get up, are you safe? Where I am, you are in England. Amazing, you know? Yeah.
That's amazing. And Shoshana, when you hear Faraj tell this story, I mean, he's obviously gone into it with a lot of detail. I mean, what do you think, about this?
I think I have a mixture of emotions when he tells his story. First, a lot of anger, actually, at how the world treats refugees. They're treated, as criminals and not as people who need help and compassion. Incredible admiration for Faraj. He was so determined, so brave, so clever that it's unbelievable how he made it to England. And compassion, that when Faraj first came to our house and told his story, all I wanted to do was protect him, give him a hug, and not let anything bad ever happen to him again.
But Faraj, you didn't end up straight in Cambridge. You first went somewhere else in the UK. So you just tell us a little bit about those experiences.
I lived in the UK, I think in Dover. So then I went to the police station just for security, and then they sent us to the fancy hotel in London. I stayed there for 2 nights. After no place, homeless, no food. I had shower, I slept in a bed, finally, after 3 months, no bed. And then they sent me straight away to Huddersfield in north of England. Yeah, I was really happy. I'm really delightful because I came to the place where I want to. And then I've got refugee status in the UK, and then the government said, help yourself. No English, no money. And then they said, you have 28 days, you have to leave your hostel. Where I can go? Where? So I used to go to a charity, it's called Open Doors for Refugees. They help refugees to have a hot meal on Friday. I used to go regularly there, cleaning, cooking, anything, and they helped me a lot. They helped me a lot. So then I heard about Refugee at Home. They help refugees stay with the family. I said, that's a great idea, I might do it. Because if I want to work, if I want to study, I need money. If I want to work, I need language. And I didn't have all of them. So then I contacted with the Refugee at Home, and they said, Faraj, yes, we will help you. They're really helpful. And they said, but we need reference. So Open Door in Huddersfield, the lady called Hazel, she helped me a lot. She gave me a reference to live with a family. So then they said, Faraj, we've got 2 families, one in Hastings, one in Cambridge. I have no idea about both of them. So I told her, where I go? And she said, Faraj, if you want to continue with education, go to Cambridge. If you want to go to have a party by the coast, working there, go there. And I said, no, I want education, because they stopped me in Turkey. I want to continue my education. And I stopped for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, next day, Shoshana phoned me. I was like, Faraj, I'm Shoshana, come down. I went to Cambridge, and then we met. Yeah.
So Shoshana, you talk a little bit about this in the video, but tell me a bit more about your motivation to open up your home.
Well, really, we're in the middle of one of the worst refugee crises ever, and I felt I have an incredibly privileged life, and I wanted to do something tangible. And around this time, I actually went to a talk from this charity, Refugees at Home, and it's an amazing charity, very simple. You have a spare room. Offer your spare room to a refugee for as long or as short a period as you want. And I thought, this is what we're going to do. And I went home and I spoke to Simon and Sarah, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So we signed up, and 6 weeks later, we got an email saying, we have a self-referred refugee, Faraj, do you want to meet him? And that was it.
And I'd love to hear from both of you about what you were excited about, what you were nervous about, and how your life has changed a bit since you've moved in with.
So basically, I was really excited to live with a family, and especially after I lost my family, and then I needed a place to stay, feeling safe, having free accommodation. I kind of think about next step. But I was nervous in second hand because where this family is going to accept me as a Muslim or as a refugee, because when you hear about refugees now, what they're doing in Europe, some of them quite bad, or about tourism, about what's going on in Europe, we don't need refugees. And I was like, oh my God, how it's going to be? And they let me to have to be free in their place or feeling comfortable with them. So, I think basic things, I think anyone could think like that, yeah. So I was nervous, but I said, first, just go and see how it goes. And it's been fantastic, yeah, since now.
Yeah.
And actually, Shoshana, one of the things that I was curious about when we met was how you felt like, you mentioned in the video that, you know, you have a Jewish household, and I was always very curious to know how that, whether that influenced your decision and your own experiences in terms of...
I mean, I think it has. I mean, obviously, the most recent memory is World War II and how Jews were treated as refugees in World War II, and it's always a matter of life and death. And just there's a strong ethical strand of Judaism to treat the stranger because you were a stranger in a strange land, and that's stretching from the Hebrew Bible, where we're constantly enjoined to look after the widow, the orphan, and the stranger within your gates, through rabbinical literature. One of my favorite kind of mottos is from Hillel the Elder in the 1st century, and he says, Im einani li mili, if I am not for myself, who am I? But if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? And that was kind of the motto, that I try to live by.
Amazing. And Faraj, one of the things that comes out in the video a little bit is the importance of freedom. And you mentioned your sexuality, and I wanted to ask you about how freedom ties into this journey. Given that you're gay and that it has been more difficult for you in terms of finding acceptance?
So when I was in Syria, I also think about my sexuality, like what I'm going to do with myself, because I started to realize I'm gay like when I was really young. And I shocked, I am in the wrong place. I mean, not in the wrong place, but I mean, a community around me, they couldn't accept it. And I shocked, and I was scared what I'm going to do, what's future going to be like. Yeah, so then we moved to Egypt after the war, and then I was more worried because more I grew up, like, I didn't know what I have to do. So I decided to go far away from my family, from my community, whereas I can be less like comfortable, more freedom. Yeah, but I realized as well to be freedom as well, not just to go out. Because I met some people, even in England, freedom place, but they still feel comfortable with themselves. They feel like inside, feeling fair, we couldn't say anything, even they are gay or not. So feeling as well like freedom, not just, yes, I am in freedom place, yeah, look me, no. But to feel inside your freedom, to believe in yourself, to believe in your ability, to love yourself. I think this is the best thing you can think about freedom.
And I guess, Shoshana, when you hear about the negative kind of narrative we have in a lot of the press, how does that make you feel now?
Well, I think a lot of it stems from fear and ignorance, and I think people need to know refugees are people like us, and that actually we need to embrace them, not reject them. And that's...
My last question is, Faraj, tell us about your life now.
So my life has been changed a lot since I moved to Cambridge, actually, because, from place to place, traveling, not always worry about basic things, even like money or clothes or a place to stay, And people think sometimes this is a simple thing, but I really need it. So then I've got accommodation, I've got people around me, people will hear it's so lovely, I've got lots of friends. And I think I can see my future, I can see myself next. So now I feel like, yes, I'm stable, I can take the next step. I learn English, I start to work, I've got nice people around me. So it's fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Thank you.
And just a round of applause.